This is the New York City country western nightclub called Rhinestone, which is the primary set piece for the movie of the same name starring Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton. Production designer Robert Boyle created this striking club on a Hollywood soundstage, while designers Theodora Van Runkel and Tom Bronson clothed the stars, including this extravagant garb for the movie's finale. The film, which the trade paper Variety says has now reached $28 million in production cost, has been problem-plagued. The original cinematographer was replaced a few days into initial location shooting in New York, and the director replaced 2 weeks later in Tennessee. Bob Clark was brought in as director at that point, and the weather turned bad, forcing the company back to Los Angeles. And like a Dolly Parton song, the cast and crew found themselves starting over again.
We were down in Tennessee, and the weather turned miserable and started freezing us out, and so we had to shut down for 3 or 4 weeks. And in that time, you really do get to know one another, and you can ad-lib and do certain gestures and moves that normally takes months.
I think we were just getting to know each other then, and we had time to play, and we were just like kind of rehearsing. So by the time we got really rolling again, we knew definitely who our characters were.
I did not mean she was then.
Oh.
I thought
Bob Clark, whose directing film credits include Porky's, Tribute with Jack Lemmon, and the recent hit A Christmas Story, looked at the film his predecessor had shot on Rhinestone.
First decision was that there was some of it that we could keep, not too much, basically, because my concept of the film was a little different than the approach that had been taken. But as we went along, we quickly found that as their characters evolved, that we couldn't use those either, so we ended up shooting all of it over again. We even reshot the first couple of days that I spent with them piece by piece, not intending to, because we found things had developed to such a point that we had attitudinal changes. That happens often towards the end of the film, unless it's a very wearying film and the actors are worn. They usually do their best work as they go, and this has happened here.
being natural in this film is probably the key word. I would say, at least I'm speaking for myself, this is closer to me than anything I've ever done, because I'm really not a boxer, and I really don't run around with an M60 machine gun through the woods of Canada. You know, that is a character. The personality shadings is closer to me. I mean, the ad-libs, and I think the jokes, and the absurdity, because we do, at least I do, have a real different slant on life, a real kind of like odd outlook, and finally we've got a format for it. And Dolly, you know, we're dreamers, and we finally found an arena to dream in.
Because my character is definitely just me. It's a country music singer from Nashville in New York trying to make it, and he's a cab driver. That I make a bet with the owner of the club that I could take anybody and make them into a rhinestone cowboy, so he happens to be it. And so there's a lot of fun in it. So it's very close to my personality, and I truly think that this character that he's playing is the real him, the nut that we spoke of earlier.
Well, I think for any performance to make it, to really make it, it has to border on a little touch of madness.
But we do shine. I do think it shows on screen. I think
it is. There's just a looseness all the way around. Anything goes. There are no rules. There is no star system. It isn't like who's going to rush to the set first, that type of thing. It's very, very, very loose. We haven't had one argument, which is real rare. I mean, nothing. Not one, and that's for sure. That's for truth. There is no.
Well, we can start now.
Really?
yeah, it starts before.
But now, I've been meaning.
When the day before this is over, I'm going to tell you everything. I love the fact that we've become great friends, forever friends, from this picture because of the admiration and the respect, and just the fact that we're.
Hooray for Dollywood.
We're fun.
Rhinestone is scheduled for release this summer.